Hey guys, this is Cody Brockway back with another episode of Brockway's Vinyl Bites. Woohoo! Yeah! That's always a good time, right? And of course we got Mr. Co-Captain Kermit the Frog. Doesn't have a whole lot to say, but he's happy to be here just like I am too, and I hope you are happy to be here as well. So, in another installment of the series in the 70s, we are covering the prog rock genre. But there's so many albums here, I'm going to have to split this video into 3 parts. So this is the first part. We're going to do 1970 to 72, and then we're going to do 73 to 74, and then 75 to 79. So like and subscribe, because you're going to want to see those videos when they come out. But let's start off with 1970 to 72, shall we? Okay, so number 1. These aren't in really any order, it's just in order of the year. And these are pretty essential albums, so if you're looking to get into prog rock, you should definitely look into checking some of these albums out, because they are off the chain. They're off the chain, they rock, they're different. All these albums are so different, and there's, that's what prog is all about, is progressing and being different, right? So anyway, we'll cut right into 1970 with Adam Heartmother by Pink Floyd. Yeah, this is actually from the Discovery box, so that's why it's in a little digipack like this, but this is a strange album for sure. But if you're just strange enough like me, you'll probably appreciate this album. We got the Adam Heartmother Suite. We got If, Summer 68, Fat Old Son, and Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast, which is basically their road manager, or one of their roadies at the time. It's actually just a tape of him having breakfast, and then the band like interspersed playing in between different parts of his breakfast time. It's not for everyone, but hey, it had to be on the list because it's a pretty cool idea. And the way they used to play that live is the whole band would sit at a table and sort of drink tea and have scones or whatever, and then every 5 minutes they'd go and pick up their instruments and play a bit and then come back and do the whole piece like that, kind of like it is on the record. But anyway, we are moving forward to Time and a Word by Yes, the band that's on my shirt, but this is not the album, but you will be seeing this very shortly. This is a very, very, very early incarnation of Yes, but I really like this album. We got No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed, which is actually a Richie Havens cover. Then Every Days, Sweet Dreams, The Prophet, Clear Days, Astral Traveler, Time and a Word, and we got the bonus tracks, Dear Father, and different mixes of songs that are on the album. But this is a great album. This lineup is different. We got Tony Kaye, John Anderson, Chris Squire, Bill Bruford, and Peter Banks, the guitar player. This would be his last album with Yes. Steve Howe would join the following year, and then they would put out an album that I'm going to mention in a little bit. But we're still working on 1970 here, so this is Yes' second album. It's still sort of their beginnings, though, but a great record nonetheless. I really like it. So another highly influential album for me is the first record by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This album is just awesome. As a drummer, Carl Palmer kind of blew my mind, especially with drumming on Tank, and well, actually the whole album, his drumming is fantastic. The Barbarian, Take a Pebble, Knife Edge, The Three Fates, Tank, and Lucky Man, which is a big hit for the band. But the musicianship from all three guys, of course, is absolutely out of this world. We got Keith Emerson being a keyboard god, and Greg Lake playing great guitar, great bass, great vocals. He does it. They do it all. They're heavy, they're progressive, they're all of this stuff. Great band. Anyway, so we're going to move to 1971. We've got Jethro Tull, Aqualung. Yes, we've got Clive Bunker on the drums here and Martin Barre on the guitar. This is an incredible album. Iron Maiden have actually done a great version of Cross-Eyed Mary, if you want to check that out. They do a cover of that. Steve Harris is a massive Jethro Tull fan, and I don't blame him. This is just a great band, a great album, and this is one of their big classics. We got Aqualung, Cross-Eyed Mary, Cheap Day Return, Mother Goose, Wondering Aloud, Up to Me, My God, Hymn 43, Slipstream, Locomotive Breath, and Wind Up. Every track is written by Anderson, except for Aqualung is written by Jenny Anderson, so maybe Ian was just having a different name that day. I don't know what he was feeling like, but hey, if you know the answer to that, actually, tell me in the comments what's going on there. Let me know why the writing credit is Jenny Anderson for that song, but every other track is Ian Anderson, of course, and great classic album. Everybody should hear this album at least one time, but you'll like it so many times. You'll like it so much you'll want to hear it many more times for sure. So 1971, we continue with Nursery Crime by Genesis, my favorite band of all time. And I love Genesis. I love all these bands. Genesis, though, This is so good. The musical box for Absent Friends, The Return of the Giant Hogweed, Seven Stones, Harold the Barrel, Harlequin, and Fountain of Salmachus, or Salmacis, however you pronounce it. Anyway, this would be Genesis' third album, but this is the first album with Steve Hackett and Phil Collins on board, making the lineup Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, Peter Gabriel, Steve Hackett, and Phil Collins. Excellent album. I love Phil Collins. I love the whole band. I've seen Steve Hackett 7 times, and he's played numerous tracks from this album throughout the many times that I've been lucky enough to see him perform and meet him, actually. I did an interview with him as well. You can find that here on YouTube. So continuing on with 1971. Sorry, that's 1972. I picked the wrong CD. My mistake. 1971, we got more Pink Floyd. We got metal. Not metal, but metal. Meddle. This is a classic. We got One of These Days, A Pillow of Winds, Fearless, Saint-Tropez, Seamus, and Echoes. This is classic. A lot of diehard Pink Floyd fans really, really love this, and I'm a diehard Pink Floyd fan, so I really love it. It's really good. It's One of These Days is a pretty freaky track. Echoes has freaky moments as well, and I'm there for it. A Pillow of Winds is just beautiful. David Gilmour with the acoustic guitar, just totally awesome. Just killing it. Great album. And 1971, still, we've got the Yes album and Fragile. So Steve Howe would join the band here. So this lineup is Tony Kaye, Chris Squire, Bill Bruford, John Anderson, and Steve Howe. But, you know, then later on that year, they would actually get rid of Tony Kaye for a while, and they would bring a guy named Rick Wakeman into the fold. So we've got Fragile that came out the same year. Yeah, so between 1970 and 1971, we actually got 3 Yes albums. Isn't that freaking crazy? But very cool, and they're all great. I mean, we got Roundabout, we've got South Side of the Sky, Long Distance Runaround, The Fish, the bass solo, Heart of the Sunrise. So we got Rick Wakeman making his worldwide debut. Now, some people have probably heard of him on Hunky Dory by David Bowie, but he's really unleashed on here. He's excellent. Anyway, that band is excellent. And so we're moving on to 1972. We've got Gentle Giant, 3 Friends. This band is crazy. I love them. They're a crazy band. We've got Prologue, School Days, which is actually a really good tune. Working All Day, Peel the Paint, Mr. Class and Quality, and 3 Friends. This is some really avant-garde. This is some really, really super acquired taste type of prog right here. But one of the most influential prog bands. I mean, all these bands like Haken and even, Yes and Genesis and Dream Theater and all those bands were influenced by Gentle Giant. 1972. What am I going to pull out for you here this year? Yeah. Okay, we've got Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull. Great album. We got Barrymore Barlow on the drums for this one. This is, I believe, his first album with the band. We got Martin Barre just turned it up on the guitar. And this is the Steven Wilson remix and remaster edition from the 40th anniversary. But yeah, this album actually kind of changed my life when I first heard it. And the drumming on it and the compositions. And it's just one song, but it's spread over 2 parts. And but it's just one song that plays out for about 45 minutes, but it just goes through peaks and valleys and hills and all this. It's just totally fantastic. I mean, this is prog rock at its finest. Now, this was actually supposed to be a parody to prog rock, but it ended up being a prog rock classic album. So, yeah. I think I made a bit of a mistake here. I jumped to 1972, but I still had one more 1971 in the pile, so I do apologize for that. I'm not perfect, although I try to be. But we've got ELP's Tarkus. Great album. But the main attraction here, I mean, side 2 is fantastic. We got, on side 2, we've got Jeremy Bender, Bitches Crystal, The Only Way, Infinite Space, A Time and a Place, and Are You Ready, Eddie? But let's be real. The real money shot here is side 1, which is Tarkus. It's the 20-minute track. It's total prog rock indulgence, and I am here for it. I love it, love it, love it. Love Emerson, love Lake, love Palmer. Okay, back to 1972, folks. We've got Pink Floyd, Obscured by Clouds, another one from the Discovery box set. This would be the last album that they would do before Dark Side of the Moon in 1973, which would be in another video, not this one. But, yeah, great album, and I think this was actually a soundtrack to a film. Yeah, music from La Vallée. If you see that at the very top, there's this music from La Vallée. But Yeah, interesting album. I've never seen that movie, but the soundtrack is really interesting nonetheless. So 1972, we've got, oh yeah, the one that's on my shirt, Close to the Edge. This, I was like 5 or 6 years old when my dad first showed me this, maybe even younger actually, but this is one of the greatest prog rock albums of all time. It's only 3 tracks, but they're so long. We got Close to the Edge, which clocks in at just almost 19 minutes. We got And You and I, which is just over 10 minutes. And Siberian Katru, which is just over 8 minutes, almost 9, I guess. But wow, and this is actually the SACD hybrid edition. So this is the gold disc of this album. You see it's gold. And this is the same Fragile lineup. So we've got Chris Squire, John Anderson, Bill Bruford, Steve Howe, and Rick Wakeman. This is classic, yes. There's no prog fan that is going to tell you otherwise about this album, okay? Anyway. Is this another one from 1971? No, it's from 1972. Oh, thank God. Whew. So we got 2 here. We've got a live album and a studio album, Emerson, Lake and Palmer Trilogy. I actually have the vinyl version of this that I got Carl Palmer to sign for me. Pretty cool when I met him. And this is ELP's Pictures at an Exhibition. This is all essential listening to me. And, if you're trying to get into the prog genre, this is the right place to come. And last but not least, for 1972, we've got Genesis Foxtrot. Yeah, this is classic. Of course, it's the Nursery Crime lineup, which we've already spoken about, but we got Watcher of the Skies, Timetable, Get 'Em Out by Friday, Can Utility and the Coastliners, Horizons, and Supper's Ready. I've seen Steve Hackett play. I actually just saw him on tour, and he played this entire album cover to cover. I've seen him do a couple of albums now. I've seen him do Selling England by the Pound. I saw him do that 2 nights in a row, actually. I saw him do Seconds Out with Nick DiVirgilio on the drums, and I've seen him do Foxtrot, and then various other. I saw him do like the Wind and Weathering tour 5-6 years ago now, but he's epic. He's fantastic. His band is fantastic. Genesis is amazing. If you've never heard any of these albums, do yourself a favor, go and check them out because they are worth your time. Anyway, that would conclude part 1 of this series of the 70s prog rock. So here we are in the 70s. We just covered 1970 to 72. Then we're going to come back and do 73 to 74 and then 75 to 79. So like and subscribe because there's lots of cool stuff coming on this channel. All right. Thanks for watching, folks. Rock on! Yeah!